Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great show for you. We got Paige King Johnson coming on. I'm pretty sure she's come on our show in the past. So we're
Yes,
excited to have her back on.
yes, we
And
are.
and another version of CRS, we got her. Then we got Maddye Trew coming on a little bit after
Hmm.
her. So we're excited to see where this goes and talk a little bit about her story and her new music that's coming out.
Yes,
And let's just see where this goes. So welcome to the show.
yes, welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to see you as much as I can.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
So as you know, it's been a tough for a lot of people in the entertainment industry right now.
Hmm.
So how has COVID affected you, and what are some things that you've done to kind of maneuver through this crazy maze?
Well, I mean, I feel like all entertainers and honestly everybody in general, we've all kind of had to figure out how to reinvent the wheel and figure out how
Hmm.
what we normally do in a more virtual sense, just like y'all are. And so, um, I've definitely relied heavily on things like Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and still being able to try to bring music and shows as much as we can to different people. And it's honestly, as frustrating as it was at the very beginning to kind of jump over that whole technology hurdle and get used to figuring out how to do it. um, I really have found that it has harbored a lot of relationships and honestly created some new ones
Yeah.
during
Hmm.
time to reach people that I wouldn't have if I was just playing a show in the middle of Missouri or back in Nashville or wherever it was. And so it's been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like for us, when we launched the show last year, it was January 2020.
Hmm.
And then 2 months later is when COVID happened. So
Yes.
our original plan was to interview 100 people our first year. And we thought, if we could just do that,
That would be a
it'd
lot
be
of
a lot of
interviews.
interviews our
Yes.
first year. And we thought we'd be ahead of the game. And
Yeah.
then COVID happened. And I told Sandy, well, you know what? This is our silver lining. We just got to step it up because people like you are going to need a place to talk, and we're going to give y'all that platform, and we're just going to do more than we ever thought of doing. And because of
Mhm.
that, we end up doing over 300 interviews
Yeah.
last year.
Well, honestly, you probably need a break. You need like a long nap in 2021, I'm sure, to get all. I mean, it's crazy though, and it's so true for so many people that everything shut down immediately, and all of us were thinking,
Hmm.
"Gosh, is this like a snow day where we don't have to do anything for a few weeks?"
Right.
And then we realized, okay, this is going to last a lot longer than just the few days that we
Hmm.
thought, few weeks that we thought it was. Then it's like, okay, now we have to figure out how to do it. And then it almost seemed like I was busier, even though I was staying home. I was busy than ever before.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, like with us, we got busier than ever before.
That was our busiest
That
year ever.
and
Yeah,
and
last
you're
year.
talking about taking a break this year. What's funny now, granted, this week is not a normal week because of CRS,
Right.
but it's crazy because when we've got one more interview today after you, and then we got two to end it tomorrow, and after that we will have done 16 interviews this week,
That is
Yes.
our biggest week ever, but because of CRS.
Yes, that's why.
well, I mean, you got to make the most of what you can. And honestly, with everything being virtual and everybody being so in different places, but we're all still trying to come together as much as possible, it may have brought more opportunities for y'all and for artists like myself too. So you never know.
Yeah, because I kind of
Yes.
joke with Sandy, probably in 5 years from now, we'll be able to look back, and if we're like the size of Bobby Bones or Kelly Clarkson's show, and maybe got an Emmy one day, and we'll be able to look back at this time period and say, you know what, COVID is the reason for a lot of that.
It is. It's crazy. You never know. You honestly, I mean, so many artists have gotten breaks during this time, and so
Mm.
many, different things have happened for people. So it truly is. It's a weird time, but it's been productive in a
Yeah,
different way.
and it also has to do with what you do because there are people, as you know, that have done nothing.
Yeah.
And that's because they chose to do nothing. But you know what? When all this happened, a lot of people took those first couple months and didn't really do nothing because they thought, okay, it was coming back. Once everybody
Yeah.
realized, okay, this is going to be longer than we thought, then the real thing happened is, are you serious about what you want to do?
Yeah. And I think it's, they say, the cream is always going to rise to the top. And I think that this time has really shown how many people are really truly passionate about making a career out of music and not just doing it for fun and living in Nashville on the side or living wherever they are playing music on the side, because this has been the toughest time financially for artists in a very long time because, all of that income that we were normally used to was just pulled out from under us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it truly has, like in every other industry, I think the people who are really truly passionate about what they're doing and willing to put in the effort and make sacrifices where they can so that they can keep doing what they love, whether that's owning a restaurant or singing music or like whatever it is. I think
We're hosting a show.
Yeah, or hosting a show. I think the true front runners have kind of come out of this on the other side.
Oh, definitely.
I love that. Now, a lot of people would ask when you knew you wanted to do music, but I like to go deeper than that. When did it click that this could be a career for you?
I really think it was around high school that it really clicked for me that this is an option.
What?
This is something that I could do. I had been playing music for about 5 or 6 years in high school, but it was probably around my sophomore or junior year in high school when shows were really picking up for me kind of how I wanted them to. And it was at that point that I had actually launched a dinner theater here in my hometown in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And I was really starting to see all the different avenues, and it wasn't just, you have to be the Carrie Underwood that's singing on stage at CMA Fest or whatever it could be, that there's so many different opportunities within the entertainment industry as a whole. And so I launched that, and that opened up a whole new door for me in music business for me. And then things kind of started growing, and I started traveling more, and I fell in love with the traveling and the live entertainment part of the music industry as a whole. So then that kind of led me down the Nashville path and looking into Nashville and what that could look like for me moving there. And after I graduated from high school was when I moved to Nashville and really kind of kicked it up to the next level. So it was probably then.
Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit about just Like You.
Yes.
It is it's my precious little baby right now. I co-wrote this song with a friend of mine that I actually went to college with in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
Reagan Russo. And her and I have been friends for many, many years, and she's always my go-to if I have country song ideas that really I need help doing. And at the time, I had this idea for this love song written down in my phone, which is where I keep most of all of my song ideas. And I called her up. I said, Reagan, I have this verse idea, and I think it's a love song, but I really don't know how to make a love song. Can you help me? And at the time, my boyfriend, I knew that I wanted this to kind of be, part of our story. And I think with any love song in general, whoever's writing it, they want to make sure that what they're saying is said in the right way and it's not cheesy and it's not coming on too strong or whatever it may be. And so we kind of took that story and it just fell out on the page in a couple of hours and we fell in love with it. I took it to my producer the next day and I was like, I think this is something special. And I played it for him. He was like, yes, absolutely. Get your butt in that room right now. We're going to do a demo for it. And we fell in love with it. And I actually sat on the song for a little over a year and really wanted to make sure that the original way that we recorded it was, what it was supposed to sound like. And so we revisited it after I put out my first single and we still loved it so much. And we felt like last fall was the right time to put it out. And so we put it out and it's just been crazy to see the reactions to it from, people posting videos of them dancing with their significant other, or
Wow.
getting
Oh,
to
wow.
friends and family of mine have it as their first dance song at their wedding. So it's been a really cool process with the song.
Love that. Now, as you know, a lot of people see the glory of a Blake Shelton, of a Miranda, of a Carey, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but a career level. And I always want to talk about that. I'm going to tell a quick story and help guide us where I want us to go. But back in 2014, we interviewed Allison Steele from Two Still Girls. And at that time, they were full time with music. And I asked Allison what advice she'd given up and coming artist. And I'll never forget what she said. She said, "This will sound funny coming from someone full time, but if you can see yourself doing something else, go do that and keep this as a hobby." She goes, "Because the moment you want it to be a career, everybody kind of owns a piece of you. You no longer own your life. Your friends and relatives never understand. They invite you to weddings, the cookouts, the weekends, the holidays. But when you're in that grind mode, especially at the beginning, you have to say no to everything so you can say yes to just music." She said, "Then your family has to sacrifice. They have to give you up to the world and basically share you with the world." But she then added, "But if you cannot see yourself doing anything else, then go all in. That's the only way that those kind of sacrifices could ever be worth it." What do you think of what she said? Let's talk about that.
Well, that's actually really funny because when I get questions about, what's the best advice you ever got, um, it's something very similar to that I actually heard during a seminar that we had at school at Belmont in Nashville when I was in school. And they told somebody, somebody asked a similar question of, how do I know if music is the right thing for me, or how do I make it work in my life? And they said, if you think you want to do music as a career, they said, stop doing music and go do every other job that you think is going to make you hate doing work. And they said,
Wow.
go and I think this was Mo Pitney maybe at the time or somebody like that. And he said, I went and got a job as a lunch cafeteria worker. He said,
Oh, wow.
gone and served I've waitressed in a restaurant. I have built houses for people. And at the end of the day, if I still, after I was dead dog tired, came back and wanted to sit down with my guitar, or I wanted to schedule a co-write, or I still had the energy to go play a show after that, I knew that I was willing to make the sacrifices that it took to create this as a career and really do this, full in 100%. And so they said, go do anything and everything else in this world that would completely deter you away from music. And if at the end of the day you still want to do it, then music is what you need to do.
Wow.
Oh,
I
wow.
love
That's
that
powerful.
answer. Now, as you know, a lot of people see you as the artist, but they don't see the teams behind you. And I think that the teams never get the love they deserve, because
Right.
without
They
the
don't.
teams, you can't do what you need to do. So if you want to take a few minutes and just tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree, especially because most artists are completely scatterbrained. They don't know what direction. So yeah, first of all, my PR team, who has been so great during this whole week, at 2911 in Nashville, Scott and Jeremy over there,
Yeah,
they
they're
have done
awesome.
such
Oh, they
a job.
are awesome.
And they introduced me to so many great people that I would have absolutely never been able to get in touch with and get my music out to so many different people. So they are a huge help, as well as um, my whole team over at PCG Artist Development that I've been working with for a few years now, with Bernard and Jennifer and Molly and all of them over there. They really kind of keep everything on track and let me know where I go and when I need to go and what's the next move and all that kind of stuff. Um, and then my radio team at Grassroots, which, I mean, what a great week to be able to celebrate them and recognize them, because they've done such a good job with my first single and now this single.
Wow.
And they've just been so great. And there's honestly so many other people.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
people on the outside realize how many hands touch even just like one song before it gets out into the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's such a process. So there's a whole bunch of people, honestly.
And speaking of
Yeah.
teams, as we've got a third co-host that we always like to come on the show, our little
Yes, we
9-year-old.
do.
So Sandy's gonna go get him
Christopher,
real
I would
quick.
get him.
And just so y'all know, we do see that Maddie is already on in the background, so we will
Yes.
get her on in just a minute as we finish up here.
I love Maddie too. She's a sweetheart. She's so sweet.
I'll pull her up real quick here.
Hi guys. Paige, what a small world.
Don't you love we can do this?
Yes, I love it so much. We were just writing a song last week or whatever, and I saw that we were posting the same thing. I didn't know you were doing CRS. That's awesome.
I know.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Paige.
So I guess who asked both y'all the question?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maddie and Paige.
Okay, hi, Paige and Maddie. So, what's your favorite foods?
Ooh, I am a spaghetti girl. What about you, Paige?
That's a hard one because I have a sweet tooth, so it's not. Most people don't consider it food, but honestly, milkshakes.
Okay. There you go.
And what's
got
yours?
one more. Oh, answer
Yeah,
yours.
what's yours?
Pizza.
Pizza. That one's good. Italian's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your next question?
All right, what's your favorite TV show?
All time for me is probably
Yeah.
One Tree Hill, which you're way too young to watch. But
There you go. I was going to say mine may be way too young for you to watch, but it was Law and Order SVU.
Oh,
Oh, we love
We
that
love
one.
that
Olivia
show.
Benson is my girl.
Yes.
and what's yours?
SpongeBob.
He lost his train of thought there.
Brain freeze.
Yeah,
There
we
you go.
watch SpongeBob all the time. He watches a lot of Nickelodeon shows, and it's really cool that on our show we've been able to get a handful of people from his shows on Nickelodeon to come on the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Paige, real quick, if you want to let everybody tell everybody how they can reach out to you as we end for you.
for sure. My website is just paigekingjohnson.com, and it has all of my music videos and everything on there, and links to all my social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which are all just Paige King Johnson as well. I'm not a TikTok person, so you can't find me there.
We've got a TikTok, but I've never done
used
it.
it.
I think I'm going to eventually, but
Maybe
I
he
don't-
could help
maybe
us
he could
do
do
something. Yeah.
If he figures it out, he can start one for me.
there you go. You know, we really enjoyed having you on the show
We
today,
did.
and we definitely look forward to having you back for a third time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yes.
appreciate it. And have fun with Maddie. It's so good to see you, girl.
It's good to see you too. Y'all go check her out.
Bye.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Hi, Chris.
Welcome to the show.
Yes,
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you for having me. I saw, and congratulations is in order. Y'all just had your anniversary of the show.
Yeah,
We did
January
last
3rd.
month.
That's
Yes.
exciting. Well, it's nice to finally meet you guys.
Same
Oh,
here.
same here.
There you
So
go.
as we get started here, as you know, it's a tough time for the entertainment world.
Oh, yes.
So how has COVID affected what you do, and what have you done to kind of maneuver through this crazy maze?
Yeah, you know what? So it's been difficult, but it's also see, like with me, I've actually been kind of blessed. So I've been I've been fortunate enough to find opportunities
Mhm.
throughout it to like help me build up my business in COVID as an artist. I ended up meeting my manager now who
Oh, wow.
has helped
Oh, wow.
me. His name is Jeff McMahon. He has helped me find different opportunities and take over a lot of live streams. Now that seems to be what's helping me is doing all the live stuff. And just co-writing.
You can do a takeover on our page if you want.
Oh, we would
Oh,
love
thank
that.
you. Yes, I'd love to. I do all the takeovers. I'm getting
Awesome.
used to looking into a camera.
You know, like for us, about the opportunities and all that, as you know, like we said, we launched January 3rd of 2020,
Mhm.
a couple
Right.
months before COVID happened. And I remember our original plan was 100 interviews first year. We thought if we could do that,
Wow,
that would be a
lot.
great. In fact, I thought that was
Right.
pushing it, to be honest. When we made that goal,
I did too. I was
especially
like,
her,
there's
she
no
was like,
way
"Are
I'll
you
hit
sure?"
that.
I was like, "I think we can do it."
Yeah.
And then COVID happens. And that's when I was like, okay, the world is slowing down. We'll be able to book people we probably wouldn't be able to normally book for a new show. I was like,
Yes.
we just need to step it up and forget
Right.
the 100 and just go all in because this is our time to shine. And because of that, we end up doing over 300 interviews last year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's more time definitely for interviews too, and just to like get online since we're working from home as well.
Right.
But I'm fortunate enough to have had some success. I ended up playing at the Listening Room once Nashville had started opening up. And then Jeff is getting me into radio stations at and then just I'm doing stuff with Truck Stock Live as well, and we're singing to truckers, and then and I'm still networking over the internet as well. Like I'll still reach out to people and get in that way and meet them via Zoom. So just doing all that I can, because it's a weird time right now.
And and I think what's going to happen, a lot of people haven't put this together yet, but I have. I think what's the future is when we do get the normal, and I think that won't be till next year, somewhat normal.
Yeah.
But when we do get to where you can have the bigger concerts, I think the future will be where you'll be live at your concerts, but you'll also set up these little event Facebook, whether it's Facebook Live or where people pay $5 to be part of your concert. Yeah. And now you'll have the best of both worlds. You'll be live at the concert, but now your people that can't make it there can be part of it.
Oh, yes. And that's going to be awesome too. For sure.
I think that's what's going to come out of all this.
Bigger audience.
I don't know why people ain't really thought of that beforehand, because a lot of people have been doing Facebook Lives way before COVID, but they never really put the two together. But I think you're going to see that combined.
Right. And that's going to be great. And it's just, the more fans we can get to shows after this. And, I think everybody's hungry for it too. They're all going to come running. And I'm just ready to get back on stages frequently, because that helps artists like keep up their, stage presence and working it all out, because it's also practice for us too. And I'm really excited about it,
because video is great, but there's nothing like face-to-face.
Yeah, face-to-face is 10 times easier instead of looking at this little green dot.
So tell us a little bit about the song Only Sometimes.
Yeah, so I released it in December of 2020. It was my first song I ever released. I wrote it with a friend from Belmont, which is how I met Paige. And it's on all streaming platforms right now, which is super exciting. And it's my celebration song of being single. So we just have Valentine's Day and out there a little bit more, because I just wanted that message to get across too, that being single, like feeling lonely isn't only sometimes feeling. And I'm a dream chaser here too. So I'm, doing my thing and going for it. But, I don't have a significant other here. So I was just like, well, you know what? I'm having a great life. And only sometimes I feel this way. And everybody needs to, or I want everybody to see it's just only sometimes feeling.
And you would rather enjoy being single than miserable being with somebody anyway.
Yes.
Because I think that's the part is sometimes people get into these relationships and they get so desperate in them that now they're miserable, and it's really sad when you're like married and lonely.
Right.
We've been married 18 years, and I can't imagine being lonely. No. And I can't imagine being boring either.
Right. Yeah, and there's fun to both worlds, and my ultimate goal is just to encourage and be a positive light to people who go through that or anything else. With more songs I'll release, I just want to be an encourager and happy positive vibes over here, country vibes.
Exactly.
Oh, we love that.
So as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory of a Blake Shelton, of a Miranda, of a Carrie, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes, not just to get to their level, but even a career level in music. And I always want to talk about that, because nobody talks about it. Everybody kind of sugarcoats and glosses over what that really entails. I'm going to tell a quick story that helped guide us where I want this to go.
Yeah.
But back in 2014, we interviewed Allison Steele from Two Steel Girls, and at that time they were full-time with music. And I'll never forget what Allison said. I asked her what advice she'd given up and coming artists. And she said, this will sound funny coming from someone full-time, but if your heart will allow you to do anything, if you can see yourself doing something else, then go do that and just keep this as a hobby. She goes, because the moment you want it to be a career, everything changes. He goes,
Right.
you no longer own your life. Everybody kind of owns a piece of it. Your friends and relatives never understand because they invite you to weddings, to cookouts, the weekends, the holidays. But
Right.
when you're in that grind mode, you have to say no to everything so that you can say yes to music only. And your
Right.
average person, and not saying nothing against them, they just don't understand because they're not in the industry. And
Yeah.
then your family has to sacrifice. They have to kind of kick you out the door and say, okay, I'll share you with the world. And many times they have to be willing to have leftovers so that you can have the feast with your fans, you know, and so
Right.
so they have to kind of give up that side of it. But she added, if you cannot see yourself doing something else, then go all in. Because the only way that those kind of sacrifices could ever be worth it. What do you think of what she said? Let's kind of talk about that.
Yeah. So I have known since I was a little girl that I wanted to come up here and go to Belmont to study
Wow.
music. And I was never interested in anything. And my mom would tell you the same
Wow.
way. Just growing up, I just wanted to do all the plays, all the talent shows and everything. So I kind of, made it to a point where, I mean, this is fully me, and I have signed up. And I remember getting to Nashville, and like the first month I just cried because, it's tough, it's scary, it's hard. And then, now I'm here 6 years later, and I am just now starting interviews. I'm doing other things, that I haven't done before. I'm just trying to, get all the little base hits that I can, and just go with the flow and see what happens. Because there's so many aspects to the job, and I didn't know coming up here because I was a theater girl, and so my voice coach was like, no, stop theater if you're going to do country. So I stopped, and I came up here, and I learned everything that I could. And it's just, if you're here, you're here. And if you love it, you love it, and you keep going. And it is a grind because I didn't think, just different aspects of the job keep showing themselves up, because it's like, okay, well, now I'm in charge of my social media. So I've got to, cross post, to my Facebooks and to Instagram and tell everybody when I'm going live here. We got to have a graphic, and then, let's make a list of to-do things that we need to do. Like, do we need to go call a photographer for this next song? It's just constant. And I have like 5 different jobs right now. 5 different job titles just to like help my schedule. I'm even nannying my producer's kids to split the song production costs, because it also costs a lot too. But I definitely think, if you're choosing this as a career, you've got to just be ready for it, and you've just got to keep holding on. And, some people fade, and that's to them. And, some people can go through all the way. And I think it's a fun experience, regardless if they stop or keep going, because in this time, or my whole life, I've had so much fun being an artist. I love listening to Patsy Cline. I love learning from Loretta Lynn. And, I love having creative musical friends. And just, co-writes are like therapy. I've got all my new friends here. I can't even count friends in this industry, which is awesome.
It is awesome.
But yeah, so in my case, I am here for the long haul, and it will be very unfortunate if I don't sell out FedEx Forum, but I'm gonna continue to try.
Now, anybody that's watching, whether it's live or replay, just share. And if you're watching live and you got any comments, you can make them, and we can actually put them on the screen. So
because we can see them.
because we can see them.
Yes.
So so think about that. But anyway, it's definitely even with our show, we've had to come to that conclusion that we have to be all, we're chasing the same dream you are, just on a different platform. We want to be the Bobby Bones, the Ty Bentleys, the Kelly Clark. And to be honest with you, our original plan was to be more radio, but now, as this has grown, and we broaden where it's not just music, we bring on actors and all that now. We're like, okay, now we're looking at maybe more like a Kelly Clarkson show.
Oh, that's awesome. I love her.
So it's kind of broad. In fact,
my spirit animal.
The other day, crazy, because the other day we had the former CEO of Chipotle on. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
and so we're just sitting here like all of a sudden people are saying yes to our show, and we're like, okay, this is going to be bigger than we thought, because it just keeps
been crazy.
Right. That's awesome.
So what is your vision for the next 5 years or so? Where are you going?
I'm gonna try to go to the top. I'm gonna, once things open back up, I will be, safe but more present. And networking, I will, try to take as many gigs as I can that aren't live stream, and hopefully, I'll be playing shows at Exit In, or the ultimate goal is Ryman and Bridgestone, but it's to each their own journey, and it's I'll see how long mine takes, but for now I'll keep nannying little babies and writing 6 times a month and just keep dreaming.
I love that. Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see the artist, but they don't see the teams behind. They don't see the PR people, the producers, the managers.
Right.
And in my opinion, they don't get the love they deserve because of how much work they do. So on our show, they get love. So if you want to take a few moments, just to tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Yeah. So my team growing up were my parents, my mom. And now it's just me and my manager, Jeff McMahon. He helps me do graphics. He plugs me into the shows that I need to get to. He's like, hey, here's this opportunity. Let's go for it. That man is working like 24/7 with a lot of us. We have a lot of friends, and he's making the wheels turn on everything and just showing me the ropes of how to do this, because Jeff has been in the industry for over 20 years and was actually on tour with Tim McGraw.
We'd like to get him on the show.
We'd
like to get Jeff on the show.
Yeah, he's great. He's been doing that, and then he also ran Stream Records for 3 years. So he's done the record label, and he knows all the ins and outs. So I'm letting him teach me, and he's been such a blessing, and we'll joke, I'll call him my assistant, I'll be like, okay, what else is next? And it's just me and him. I mean, he's on my call log 20 times a day. We're just grinding it out. And then if my mom's like, oh, you want me to do something, she'll do it, but that's pretty much my team so far.
Tell us a parent story, because when artists start to bring up their parents, I definitely know that, okay, there's stories here, because, sometimes you got to be careful to ask this because sometimes there's not a good connection there, but I could tell what you it is. So tell us a story where your parents went above, and I know there's probably thousands of them. Just kind of think of the one that stands out, where they went above and beyond on something, and you were, wow, this is my passion.
Yes. So when I was in high school, me and my mom are super close. We would go and audition for American Idol.
Oh, wow.
It was to honor my Nana. That was my first concert she took me to. We watched it growing up, and she passed away before I could try out. And so me and Mom would go to Atlanta and St. Louis, and they mic'd her up, and she did the whole, because we got to the celebrity judges round, and then we got to Hollywood, and she had the Ryan Seacrest scene or whatever. And then, I think at that point she already knew, because I'm very lucky. My parents supported this dream, and I never gave them a reason not to. And so once that washed over her, she's like, oh my gosh, I just talked to Ryan Seacrest because my daughter's sitting here trying to get the golden ticket. She's just like, all right, let's do this. So there was one part where we were walking on a bridge and we were talking, and, we had the cameras going, and she's like, all right, this is going to be fun. But yeah. That's she's come to all my gigs. I've not had a gig where she or my grandmother are not there, or my brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they love it. And I moved to Nashville, and my family followed me up here because they love it so much. So now they get to come and see me, and just be a part of the process, and learn what I'm learning, and see me do these interviews.
Oh, cool. And like with our show, we're going to be making that move out to Nashville in the next 12 months or so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
because we just realized, even though when we started the show, it was a country music interview show. Then it moved
Right.
into a music interview show. Then it became an entertainment interview show where we bring on anybody in entertainment. So it just keeps growing and the vision keeps broadening. But Nashville's still the great place to be because even though actors are over in LA, there's a lot of film that happens in Nashville, and of course the artist side. So it's like everything that we need is right there in Nashville.
Yes, it is. And it's a super fun place to live. And, I mean, if you're just like sitting next to somebody at a coffee shop, I mean, they're, they could either be famous or somebody in the industry. And then, I mean, yeah. So it's definitely a fun city and the best place to, do all of this.
So if you could co-write with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Brett James.
Oh wow.
Yes, he wrote Who I Am and Jesus Take the Wheel. I have been a big fan of his. I actually met him. I've been here for 6 years and I've been waiting to meet him because I interned, all over the place. I've been around in the business scene and I love his new single project. My favorite is Lonely Ain't So Lonely, his song. But I just think he's an awesome songwriter and I want to learn from him. I mean, it's just, he's got all these hits and it's awesome.
So is Lori your mom?
Yes, Lori's my mom.
I figured that since I said bet she's crying. So.
Yeah, that's my high school principal there too.
Oh wow.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the one great thing about StreamYard. I like, you can't really.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can pop up the comments and all that, questions, and and it makes it where the audience can at least, if they're live, interact, and I love that.
Right. I know. Hi, Ruben. Totally. He's downstairs. We're snowed in together. My brother's in town, so we're having fun over here.
So how's it been being snowed in?
It's been awesome. We actually got out yesterday and got to, a lot of locals are going over to Capitol Hill. And that's got like a ton of snow and it's the steepest sledding place.
Because I seen Lindsay Sipe say she wants someone to take her to Capitol Hill. So I guess
definitely go. We're going today, probably too. And then, it gives me more time to practice my guitar inside and, just go back to I'm painting, I'm watching my shows, and then, getting some little brother time because he lives in Knoxville, so we don't see him often. So it's been a good couple snow days.
Oh, wow.
And then
CRS. A few questions, too.
Yeah, I've got a couple. How would you describe your music to someone who's never heard it before?
Yeah, so with Only Sometimes, that producer, I told him to go in directions with like a cross between Carrie Underwood and Ashley McBride. I wanted darker tones in my music. I wanted just the edgier sounds, but still country. And now these projects that I'm working on, I'm actually cutting different songs. And I want to, my goal is to do something fun with traditional country. Like go back on the traditional side and then just mess it up a little bit to where it's modern, but just make another platform and I will never hold a candle to these women on this stage. Just make a separate stage. Just have the same kind of music as Loretta and, Patsy all the way up to, old Faith Hill and all this kind of stuff. So I'm trying to work on that. And, but right now Only Sometimes is mixed between Carrie and Ashley, I think.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what would you like your legacy to be as an artist? What would you ultimately like to be known for?
Oh man, I want to be known for, I want to be known just for that fun spirit, just that country music. Like she's all country and it's just fun and encouragement to people, I mean, I kind of want because Kelly Clarkson, y'all love Kelly Clarkson. I love
her. Awesome.
Yes.
She's so kind and she's so fun and funny. And that's the same kind of thing I want to portray. I'll, with a little difference from her, but the same kind of just like energy. I want that to be something people remember me by, and just to have fun at my concerts, and just relate with me, because I'm, aside from a singer, we're also people too. And so, and getting out there and saying what you feel in your songs. Like I didn't, it's my first time releasing a song, and I told the whole world, like, oh my goodness, I love being single, but sometimes I don't. And that's kind of hard. You don't realize, like, oh, my gosh, I'm telling the whole world this. So if I have this platform to tell the world, I just want people to just be entertained and, hopefully connect to it, and, then become a friend,
answer.
And that's the thing I love about songwriters. We, because I'm a vulnerable person. You can ask Sandy. That's what she said. She felt, I will, even as a guy, I will say my emotions. So when we talk to a lot of songwriters, it's, they have to get vulnerable in their songs, because again, you write this song, it's about your life. And then on top of that, you got to get on that stage and sing it. What is that like?
Yeah. So it's a little different, just because, I grew up singing other people's songs, like as covers, or I'd put it on my CD, the karaoke version, and then now this is actually something that I wrote and I feel. So if you step into it and your stage performance while you're on stage, it's just like, it makes it 10 times more fun, because artists, I'm sure they'd agree, like the stage is their home. And then now they're getting to, just say what they want to. And this, like, there's like kind of a invisible curtain in front of everybody, just so they can or in front of me, just so I can like take all the nerves off and just be in the creative moment and sing to people what I believe. And, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's awesome. Like having my own song now, just to be like, hey, my gosh, only sometimes I'm like this, y'all. Otherwise, I'm up here on stage killing it,
I love that. So what's CRS this week been like for you?
You know what? It's awesome. They have really done all that they could in regards to COVID. And I have already met people at that little St. Jude table, and met a new friend. I'm like Instagramming this one girl, and we're CRS buddies and watching these things together. And, and I met somebody else who I'll do another interview for. So it's kind of, it's working, and it's great. All the little graphics they're giving us, and watching all the panels. I really enjoyed Warner's show yesterday with Dan and Shay's thing, and then was it Drew Tucker? Yeah. It's been fun. What about you guys? Are you loving it?
Yeah, we're definitely loving it. What's
this
funny
is our
is
first year getting to participate.
Yeah, last year,
mine too.
Because as you know, last year we launched, we launched before CRS. So when we learned about CRS, I said, we go, we're going to definitely be part of it next year. And then when it come up getting closer, there's no way we could have participated this year face to face. So again, here it is. COVID has then helped us again be a part of something that we dreamed about doing.
I know. Yeah. It's we were allowed to take advantage too. I think there were some, if it was in person, I think there were some requirements you had to have that I didn't necessarily have. So taking this opportunity when I could, and it's been awesome. And I'm glad to have my name out there in this seminar.
Love that.
Yeah.
So as we come to a close here, let's say you had a friend of yours, and you heard him or her sing, and they got something. As Simon Cowell would say, they have that it factor. But they've played maybe 40 or 50 shows, and they're still getting their feet wet on the performance side. Now, this would be pre-COVID advice, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
But they've gotten on stage, and they got what every artist says, that stage bug, where they look over the crowd, and the crowd's roaring for them, and they know they're in the right place, and they come to you, and they tell you, I know I'm called to this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. What advice would you give that specific person to kind of help guide them the next few years?
I would tell them, if, this is fully them, then it's going to get hard, and you've just got to keep going and just push aside any like thoughts that come to mind, like, oh my gosh, this is getting harder as it keeps growing, like a new job titles of, your business as an artist are like popping up, like social media person, I've got to do this, and this. Just keep, keep going through all of that, and then try to find your base hits and be strategic about what you're doing. Do the, study up on, what's going to be worth your time, what's going to help you here, what does this help your brand, or, okay, I mean, just grab something that adds to the business and just build it up from the bottom up and just keep going. I think would be my advice.
Really great advice. I remember when we first started the show that we reached out to a Nashville friend. I asked what advice he'd give us for the show. And I think it works for really whether you're an artist, a host, or really in any industry almost. But I remember him saying, whatever you do, be and stay authentic. Because you could tell every Bobby Bones joke, you could tell every Ty Bentley joke. And he said, you might even be good at it. Who knows? He says, but the day will come when Authentic Chris comes out. And when that day comes, you will lose every bit of your audience because they weren't attracted to that. He said, but if you start and stay authentic from day one, you may grow slower, but you'll gain the right audience.
You'll keep going. Yes, absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do as well. If whether it's like
on your tribe,
low video quality, fine, but at least it's like, just me doing the thing and documenting all that goes along with this journey.
Because we are just us, you get what you, and again, if I had to be one of these people that couldn't have a conversation with guests where you do, because, you see those interview shows where they ask a question and then they answer.
Oh, yeah.
Then they ask a question
Q&A.
a Q&A type thing. I can't do that. I can't, I can't keep my mouth shut. If you say something that intrigues me, I've got to comment and talk about it, but in a good way, not in a bad way. If anybody says something that kind of makes me think bad, I wouldn't go there anyway. But in a good way, it's like when comments happen, it's like I've got to have a conversation.
Right. Yes, totally agree.
And a lot of people have been commenting on, as you've seen, keeps popping up. I love that.
All my people. I did like a little video before this went on just to say like, hey, I'm fixing to go live.
We appreciate
so I'm glad it's working. Yeah. I tagged y'all too. So
that's great. Love that. And as we close here, you have any final parting words, and tell everybody how they can reach you?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. So my parting words are don't give up, keep on dreaming. And you can find me at MaddyeTrew.com. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and my name is kind of funny to spell, but I love it. It's MaddyeTrew. And you can find me there. And I love follow, and I'll say hi.
I love that. Awesome. We really enjoyed having you on the show today. We definitely look forward to having you back down the road.
Oh, thank you, Chris and Sandy. It was so much fun. I appreciate you.
Same here. Thank you so much.
You have a great day.
Y'all have a great rest of the CRS week.
Oh, you too.